My estranged sister tried to steal my lottery winnings, but my grandparents' lawyer had other plans. My relationship with my sister, Clara, has always been fraught, to put it mildly. We are only 2 years apart, but you'd think we were raised on different planets. I was always the quiet, studious one, happy with a book and a warm cup of tea. Clara was the social butterfly, the center of attention, the one who effortlessly charmed everyone she met. My parents, bless their hearts, never said they had a favorite, but their actions always spoke louder than words. Clara's achievements, no matter how minor, were celebrated with fanfare. My accomplishments, often far more significant, were met with a perfunctory nod. This dynamic festered throughout our childhood and adolescence, culminating in a spectacular fallout shortly after I graduated from college. The immediate catalyst was a relatively minor argument, a petty squabble over a borrowed shirt that Clara had stained and then denied. But it was the straw that broke the camel's back. All the years of feeling overlooked, of her casual disregard for my feelings, of my parents' implicit favoritism, erupted. I said things I regretted, she said things she regretted, and we ended our conversation with a declaration that we wanted nothing to do with each other ever again. And for nearly a decade, we didn't. No holiday cards, no shared family gatherings, no awkward encounters. It was a complete and total estrangement, something my parents secretly mourned but never actively tried to fix, fearing, I suppose, another explosion. During those 10 years, my life, by most objective measures, flourished. I landed a fantastic job in a field I loved, bought a cozy little house, and cultivated a small but incredibly supportive group of friends. I was content, truly content, for the first time in my life, free from a shadow of Clara's supposed brilliance and the constant need to prove my worth. I rarely thought of her, and when I did, it was with a detached sense of relief that the drama was out of my life. Then came the lottery. I'm not a regular player, never have been. But one particularly dreary Tuesday, I was grabbing groceries and saw the jackpot was unusually high. On a whim, I bought a single quick pick ticket. I stuffed it into my wallet and promptly forgot about it. For 3 weeks. 3 glorious, ignorant weeks, I carried around a piece of paper that was worth a truly life-changing sum of money. It was my friend, Sarah, who actually reminded me. We were having our weekly coffee catch-up, and she was complaining about her own meager lottery winnings. "Did you ever check the ticket you bought?" she asked, casually. My heart did a little flutter. Oh, right, that ticket. I pulled out my wallet, fished out the crumpled slip, and checked the numbers on my phone. One by one, they matched. My hands started to shake. I cross-referenced them, triple-checked, even had Sarah look over my shoulder, convinced I was hallucinating. But no, every single number was there. I had won the lottery. Not a small amount, either. We're talking a significant, multi-million-dollar jackpot. The immediate aftermath was a blur of disbelief, excitement, and a healthy dose of paranoia. I contacted a lawyer my financial advisor recommended, a sharp, no-nonsense woman named Ms. Davies, who specialized in high-net-worth individuals and, conveniently, lottery winners. She advised me on anonymity, setting up trusts, and all the intricate legalities involved in managing such a windfall. It was exhilarating and overwhelming all at once. I told only Sarah and my other close friend, Mark, explaining the need for absolute discretion. They were thrilled for me, offering congratulations and practical advice in equal measure. The plan was to keep it quiet for as long as possible. I wanted to process everything, to make sound financial decisions, and to slowly integrate this new reality into my life without the immediate onslaught of requests, expectations, and the inevitable return of certain opportunistic individuals. The problem with plans, however, is that life often laughs at them. My grandparents, bless their traditional hearts, had always been the bridge between me and the rest of my family. They loved Clara and me equally, or at least they tried their best to show it, and they always held a glimmer of hope that Clara and I would reconcile. They were the only ones who regularly communicated with both of us, albeit separately, relaying polite greetings and general updates. I adored my grandparents, and they had been a constant source of quiet support throughout my life, especially during the tumultuous years with Clara. It was through them, indirectly, that the news of my lottery win leaked. I had told them, cautiously, about my good fortune, not the exact amount, but enough to convey that I was now financially secure. I trusted them implicitly. What I hadn't accounted for was my grandmother's excitement. In her defense, she didn't broadcast it on social media. She simply mentioned it, in hushed, thrilled tones, to my mother during their weekly phone call, emphasizing the need for discretion. My mother, predictably, couldn't keep a secret to save her life. Within a week, the entire extended family knew. And, inevitably, so did Clara. The first contact came via a text message, an innocuous "Hey, it's Clara. Heard you won something big. Congrats." It was so casual, so understated, that for a moment I almost believed it was genuine. Almost. I took a deep breath and typed out a polite but non-committal response, something along the lines of "Thanks. Hope you're well." Her next text was less subtle. "So, how much did you win? Everyone's talking about it." And then, the kicker, with your history, I hope you're being smart with it. We should talk about how to invest it properly. My history? I'd always been the financially responsible one, saving diligently, living within my means. Clara, on the other hand, had a long history of impulse buys, bad investments, and relying on our parents to bail her out. The audacity was breathtaking that I ignored that text. And the one that followed, and the one after that, which slowly but surely escalated from polite inquiry to thinly veiled demands. My phone buzzed constantly with calls from family members I hadn't spoken to in years, all suddenly brimming with feigned interest in my life and, more specifically, my financial situation. Each conversation followed a similar trajectory: congratulations, a tentative fishing expedition about the amount, and then a story about a hardship they were facing that just happened to align perfectly with the sum they hoped I'd share. Then came the email from Clara. It was long, rambling, and filled with a bizarre blend of sentimentality and self-pity. She recounted our childhood, painting a picture of an idyllic sisterhood that simply never existed. She spoke of how much she missed me, how she regretted our estrangement, and how she believed this new chapter was a sign from the universe that we were meant to reconnect. And then, the hook. I've been going through a really tough time lately. My business venture didn't take off, and I'm facing some serious debt. I know you're a multimillionaire now, and I just thought, as sisters, we should support each other. A substantial loan, interest-free of course, would really help me get back on my feet. The substantial loan she referenced was for an amount that would have crippled an average person's finances. It was a thinly veiled demand for a significant portion of my winnings that I showed the email to Ms. Davies during our next meeting. She read it with a detached amusement that I deeply appreciated. "Standard playbook," she remarked, pushing her glasses up her nose. "Expect more. And don't respond to anything without consulting me first." My parents, caught in the middle, started to apply pressure. My mother called, her voice laced with a familiar guilt trip. "Your sister is really struggling, honey. She's family. You've been so fortunate. It would be such a kind gesture." My father, ever the pragmatist, chimed in with, "A little help now could prevent bigger problems down the line. You don't want to see your sister destitute, do you?" They framed it as my moral obligation, a duty I owed to family, conveniently forgetting that Clara had systematically alienated me for years. The pressure intensified. Clara wasn't just sending emails and texts, she started showing up. First, at my parents' house when she knew I was visiting. Then, inexplicably, she managed to find my address, appearing on my doorstep with a contrite expression and a bouquet of flowers, launching into a rehearsed apology for everything and reiterating her financial woes. I politely but firmly told her I wasn't interested in discussing personal finances and closed the door. She tried again a few days later, even leaving a desperate, handwritten letter detailing her plan to turn her life around with my investment. The situation became genuinely stressful. I felt like I was constantly on guard, wary of every notification, every knock on the door. It was eroding the peace I had found. Ms. Davies, seeing my distress, suggested a more direct approach. "It's time to send a clear message," she advised. "Something that leaves no room for misinterpretation." Before we could enact Ms. Davis' plan, however, an unexpected variable entered the equation: my grandparents. They had been watching the family drama unfold with growing dismay. They were old-fashioned, valuing family loyalty above almost all else, but they were also incredibly fair-minded and had a keen sense of justice. They saw Clara's manipulative behavior, my parents' enablement, and my increasing isolation. They called me one afternoon, their voices a mixture of concern and a surprising firmness. "We heard about Clara's demands," my grandfather said, his voice quiet but resolute. "And your parents' involvement. This is not right. We want to help." I was touched. "Thank you, Grandpa. Ms. Davies is helping me navigate it." No, not just with Ms. Davies, my grandmother interjected. We've been talking to our own lawyer, Mr. Henderson. He's been handling our estate for decades. He has a proposition for Clara. I was intrigued, but also a little wary. What could their lawyer do? I trusted my grandparents implicitly, but I also knew they sometimes had a tendency to try and mediate situations with a gentle hand where a firmer one was needed. Grandma, Grandpa, I said gently, I appreciate it, but I really have everything under control with Ms. Davies. Just hear us out, dear, my grandfather insisted. Mr. Henderson is very good at these things. He believes this will solve the problem quite definitively. Reluctantly, I agreed to a meeting. It took place a few days later, a joint conference call with Ms. Davies, Mr. Henderson, my grandparents, and me. Mr. Henderson was a kindly-looking man with a twinkle in his eye, but he spoke with an authority that left no doubt about his professional prowess. We've been made aware of the current family situation, Mr. Henderson began, his voice calm. Specifically, Ms. Clara's attempts to solicit funds from your recent lottery winnings. My clients, your grandparents, are concerned by this behavior, especially given the history of your estrangement. He paused, letting his words sink in. Now, your grandparents' will, as it stands, divides their estate equally between you and Clara. However, he continued, a slight emphasis on the word, they have decided that given Clara's current actions and her demonstrated pattern of financial irresponsibility and attempts to manipulate family for monetary gain, a revision is in order. My jaw almost dropped. Ms. Davies, sitting beside me, simply raised an eyebrow, a flicker of a smile playing on her lips. Effective immediately, Mr. Henderson announced, a codicil will be added to my client's will. This codicil stipulates that should Clara continue her attempts to demand, extort, or otherwise unethically pressure you for your lottery winnings or any other financial assets, she will be entirely disinherited from their estate. Furthermore, any attempt to contest this disinheritance will result in legal action taken against her by the estate. The silence on the line was deafening. My grandparents, true to form, chimed in. We love you both, dear, my grandmother said, her voice soft but firm. But we cannot stand by and watch Clara treat you this way. This is not how family behaves. We want to protect you, and we want Clara to understand the consequences of her actions. My grandfather added, this isn't a threat, Clara. This is a choice. You can have a relationship with your sister, or you can chase her money. You can't have both. And if you choose the latter, you will lose everything from us. Mr. Henderson will be sending Clara a certified letter outlining these terms, Ms. Davies added, taking over the conversation smoothly. It will be a formal notice. Any further contact from Clara regarding your finances, or any public disparagement of you, will be construed as a violation of these terms and will trigger the disinheritance clause immediately. There will be no warnings, no second chances. The impact of this revelation was immediate and profound. Clara, who was so used to my parents bailing her out and my family quietly enabling her, was suddenly faced with a concrete, irrefutable consequence from the one source of family stability she had always relied on. My grandparents' estate was not insignificant. It represented a substantial inheritance that she had always, implicitly, counted on. The thought of losing that, on top of not getting my lottery money, was clearly a devastating blow to her opportunistic plans. The certified letter arrived at Clara's doorstep a few days later. I heard about her reaction, of course, through the family grapevine. My mother called, bewildered and distressed, describing Clara's furious phone calls, her shock, her accusations of betrayal against our grandparents. She says you put them up to it, my mother exclaimed, clearly torn between sympathy for Clara and a dawning realization of the severity of the situation. Mom, I said, calmly, Grandma and Grandpa made their own decision. They've had enough of her behavior, and honestly, so have I. My mother sighed, a long, weary sound. She says she's going to fight it. She can try, I replied, remembering Mr. Henderson's confident tone, but I doubt she'll get very far. And she didn't. The threat of legal action from Mr. Henderson was enough to make her back down. Clara, for all her bravado, was not keen on engaging in a costly legal battle she knew she couldn't win, especially against my grandparents' well-respected lawyer. The flow of demanding texts and emails ceased. The cryptic social media posts disappeared. She stopped showing up at my parents' house when I was there. The silence was absolute that IT was an unexpected resolution, far more effective than any strategy Ms. Davies and I had concocted. My grandparents, in their quiet wisdom, had found the perfect leverage. They had shown Clara that her actions had real, tangible consequences, and that her sense of entitlement would not be tolerated. The family dynamic shifted dramatically. My parents, witnessing the firmness of my grandparents and the quiet resolve of Ms. Davies and me, finally began to see Clara's behavior for what it was. They started to support me more openly, gently pushing back against Clara's attempts to manipulate them. It wasn't a complete overhaul, but it was a significant improvement. I still keep my lottery winnings private from most people, carefully managing my new financial reality with the help of Ms. Davies. I've invested wisely, supported causes I believe in, and, most importantly, maintained the peaceful, fulfilling life I had built for myself. As for Clara, we remain estranged. But this time, it's on my terms. And I know, with absolute certainty, that she will never again try to lay claim to what is mine. My grandparents' lawyer made sure of that. And for that, I will be eternally grateful to them. They didn't just protect my inheritance, they protected my peace.